We're this afternoon. Fox Sports Net presents White Sox baseball. Trey Durham, Mags Ordonez, Carlos Lee, and the Chicago White Sox as they're hosted by Mark McGwire, J.D. Drew, Albert Pujols, and Tony La Russa's St. Louis Cardinals. Hi, everybody, and welcome to St. Louis. With Darren Jackson, I'm Ken Harrell. Since we get set to bring you the finale of this three-game set. As you know, the Sox pitching was really good coming into the series here in St. Louis, but they have given up 18 runs in the first two ball games. We lost the opener 10-3, then yesterday 8-3, so trying to cut some of that nonsense out, it'll be David Wells this afternoon.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to put it. Cut the nonsense out. David had those back spasms against the Cubs last weekend, but this, his following start, he lasted 7 strong shutout innings. So you expect him to show his health again today, and they need him to finally put the skids on these Cardinals who are swinging the bats well. So get out there today and did what he did in his last start, and let's get back on a roll.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. It'll be David Wells against the 21-year-old rookie southpaw making his first Major League start, Bud Smith, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Sportsnet's coverage of Chicago White Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Hyundai, where driving is believing. Test drive one at your local Hyundai dealer today. Primeco. With Primeco, you get better local rates, smarter roaming rates, and long distance included. So go ahead and call. It's Primeco. Heineken. It's all about the beer. Heineken. Dodge. Different. See the friendly Dodge dealer near you. AT&T Broadband. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. And by your Chicago area Lexus dealer, who invite you to test drive a Lexus today.
Welcome back to Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. On a beautiful afternoon for baseball. And before we go any further, a very happy Father's Day to each and all. Make it a loving and a safe one. Also, a reminder in today's game, we are participating in the Capture Home Run Challenge, where every home run hit raises $40,000 from your pledges for prostate cancer research. And if you'd like to make a pledge, please call 800-547-CURE and help keep Dad in the game. Well, the umpires getting their pictures taken. Here at Busch Stadium, they do a lot of pregame activities before every game with children. They have them out on the field. They get them out there, give them a chance to be on a Major League diamond, running around, throwing the ball, and just a great baseball city, DJ.
Yeah, that'd be a great thrill for a young kid to be able to get on a Major League Baseball field. I know I would have loved the opportunity being that small. Everything would have looked so huge if you can think about it, because these little league fields and everything are so small in comparison. It's got to be a dream come true, even if they are as young as these little ones out there today.
Well, the Sox trying to get on the board against the Cardinals in this series, as we mentioned at the top. They lost the opener by a score of 10-3. Had a 4-3 ball game in that one going into the 7th inning. Then a base hit by Mark McGwire, and then Pujols slide to right field. A couple of walks by Matt Ginter, and then Bobby Bonilla came up, pinch hit a grand slam homer, and it just blew it open. And yesterday, Kip Wells was, well, he was cruising along pretty well till he got to the 5th inning.
Well, all of a sudden, a little leadoff double, and then things got bad because he hit a batter, and Mike Matheny with the wild pitch, and first and second, they move him along. Then you hit another batter, bases loaded, and forget about it from there. His little base hit, followed by a home run, and everything, the wheels fell off from there.
So the base on balls and the hit batsmen have really hurt the Sox here, but still, Cardinals were not swinging the bats well at all coming into the series. They had a 9-game road trip. They were 1-8. They were swept in Kansas City prior to us coming over here. They only scored 7 runs in that ball game. And our pitching, which was doing so well, I mean, just so well, all of a sudden gave up 10 and 8 in the first 2 games. So we got to try to keep that from happening this afternoon. Sox come in now 4 games under at 30 and 34, 10 games back in the Central. Cardinals are 35 and 32. They are 6 games back of the Cubs. But make no mistake about it, this Cardinal ball club is a good one. McGwire can get back in that lineup on an everyday basis, and they can get Jim Edmonds healthy. This is one formidable offensive lineup. So the Cardinals now taking the field as they have the youngsters out there at each and every position. And they got the Redbird. Does a pretty good job. watching him with the kids prior to the ball game. Well, they'll be signing the autographs of the youngsters. Big Mark and a big youngster right there.
Yeah, that kid is feeling pretty special to be standing there with Mark McGuire and having him signing his ball.
But right now, ladies and gentlemen, on Father's Day, from St. Louis, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Terrific job done by those youngsters, the Boys Choir of Springfield, Missouri. So as the 21-year-old southpaw, Bud Smith, out of Torrance, California, makes his way to the mound. Right now, let's check out this afternoon's starting lineups.
Right here, we'll have a look at Jerry Manuel's starting lineup. Anything starter will be Ray Durham. He'll be followed by Chris Singleton in center field. The left fielder is Carlos Lee. Bagley Ordonez bats cleanup, followed by Paul Konerko over at first base. Sandy Alomar Jr. does the catching. Joe Creedy hits seventh. At third base, followed by Royce Clayton, the shortstop. And getting to do some hitting today is southpaw David Wells. The pitcher today, young 21-year-old Bud Smith. This is his numbers at AAA, 7-4 with a 2.14 ERA and 13 starts. And let's see, he's thrown 84 innings. Last season, it was 17-2 between AA and AAA. He was obviously a dominating southpaw on the minor league level. He's got the 4 basic food groups of fastball, curveball, slider, change. Obviously, he is a guy that can locate his pitches to have the kind of success that he has had. Let's take a look at the defense behind him today. From left to right in the outfield, you have Paquette, Drew, and Bonilla. Infield, Pujols, Renteria, Polanco, and McGuire. And Eli Marrero does the catching. The weather, perfect. 88 degrees, 68% humidity. Might be a little hot. Winds 10 to 15. Can't feel them really much in the stadium. And it is definitely sunny. The umpires behind home plate, Mike Everett, Jim Reynolds over at first, Rocky Rose second, and Rob Drake down at third base. So as Marrero throws down to second base and Durham gets ready to come up there to hit, it's time for Hawk to take it back.
All right, DJ, thank you once again. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Fox Sports Net. And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. They will lead it off. There is numbers 263, 9, and 26. 1 for 6 in this series. Bud Smith, 35 and 19 in his minor league career. First ball, fastball, fouls it back. And since we have never seen this young man, we were talking about him prior to the ball game. We all agreed that he probably got it and threw it. Put up those kind of numbers by being a real slow worker, unless you get yourself about 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, he's got about an 88 to 90-mile-an-hour fastball. There's a scouting report on him. And you can see in 2000 how much he dominated with that 2.26 ERA.
Breaking ball high. 2-1. Outfield slightly to the right. Red Bush Stadium, 330 down the line, 372 in the gaps, 402 straight away center field as there's a bullet right back through the middle. So he gives up his first major league hit in his first major league start. Now he has worked 2 innings, giving up nothing. Just 1 walk.
Well, it's good to see Ray getting up there and being aggressive against the young man. He gets himself a high fastball. He's all over it. And something that we have needed is from the leadoff spot to get things going. Hit much better, much more successful in that 3rd slot.
Here's Singleton at 281. A couple of homers. He's driven in 11. Tries to bunt it, fouls it back. That'll be a souvenir. Nice crowd on hand. Cardinals averaging 37,817.
Just a beautiful stadium and an outstanding job with the small renovations that they've done with all the scoreboards and everything that they have added on here. It really adds a nice, pretty touch.
Breaking ball. That's out of play and very quickly 0-2. Well, they expect to have a new stadium here in the year 2003. And it's going to be right behind this.
This is such a beautiful old stadium. It's hard to tell from where we're sitting right now that this place has been around for a long time because they do such an outstanding job keeping it up.
Yeah, maintenance here is terrific. Pitch inside, 1-2. Well, you just got to assume that Smith probably, watched him take batting practice. He swings the bat well. And you'd have to assume that everything he's got, that he also has a good move to first. Looks like an athlete.
You're right, and his numbers, we're talking about swinging the bat well. Shoot, in junior college, the 1 year he was there, he had 17 home runs, so he can play.
Yeah. Picks up his first major league strikeout. So as Carlos Lee makes his way to the plate, let's check out our Heineken picks to click. DiMaggio, director and crew with Durham. Robin and BJ going to go with Paul Canerco, and Karen and Mort Levy and I are going to go with Mags Ordonez. Here's Carlos at 311, 10 homers. He's driven in 37. Breaking ball up.
Well, you know, it's Chris with that strikeout. Now 0 for 7 since he had his 13-game hitting streak. 0 for this series. He's had a little trouble since facing these Redbirds.
A little bigger lead as there's a quick step off and throw over. Sox hitting at 254 as a team at 4.62 ERA. Sox have really had trouble on the road this year. 11-20. There's a strike on the corner. So counting this game 21 to the All-Star break, and the goal of the Sox is going to get over 500 by the All-Star break.
I have a feeling they're still going to make it.
I do too.
I mean, it's just a little bump in the road. I mean, they have such a hot streak. Then all of a sudden you run into some birds that have to break out, and they did it against us.
Doubles him up with that fastball. And the count 1-2.
I mean, just 4 games under the 500 mark right now. And as well as we've been playing overall the last few weeks, I definitely have the feeling they'll get back on track, probably starting right here today.
Change up. Pujols over to Big Mac. 2 down. So with 2 out, Ray at second. That'll bring up the right fielder, Mags Ordonez. Mags at 296, 16 homers. He's driven in 47. 2 for 6 in this series with a homer. Sox will conclude this 3-game set in this brief 3-game road trip. Come home tomorrow night. A brief 3-game homestand. Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday afternoon, it'll be Kansas City coming to town. Tomorrow night, Mark Burley. He plans to be out to see that 22-year-old southpaw against Chad Durbin. can't make it, that game will be over WCIU. There's the fastball over. He appears that he can be, even with that 88 to 90 mile an hour fastball, a little sneaky.
Yeah, it does look like he gets up on the hitters a little better than what the clock shows. And also, you'd have to think that the hitter's going to take a few minutes to gauge him unless he makes mistakes. And then they'll have to make the adjustments to him.
And you can see it in Ray's at bat. He did get him on a high fastball with that solid single to center. But when you see a hitter up there trying to struggle at the last moment, trying to get the head of the bat there, you know the guy could be sneaky.
Also, the hitters might be waiting to see what he's featuring and then reacting a little bit later, realizing maybe it's something to hit. But until they get the speed on his pitches, which they've never seen it before, it takes an at bat or two. We've seen it before a lot of times, so this could be one of those days.
Watch out. The ball's thrown into center field. So Ray gets up. He'll move into third on the error by Eli Marrero. That's his 4th of the season.
That ball was really airmailed way offline, almost nailed Rocky Rowe, the second base umpire. Marrero on the short hop had the play on, and good job by Polanco to try and deke Ray Durham. Almost worked, but J.D. Drew caught off guard out there. No chance he can get to the ball quick enough to keep Ray at second base.
Two and 1 the count with 2 down here in the top of the first if you're just tuning in. Get that off-speed pitch up high.
In yesterday's ball game was 1 for 3 with the run scored, himself a double, leading things off in the 7th. He scored on Paul Konerko's 13th home run.
There's a swing like I'm talking about right there. See that hitter at the last moment try to get those hands a little quicker.
Yeah, that's not knowing a pitcher. That's not knowing if he's going to come in on you, hit you away. You're kind of trying to feel the whole zone out on how his approach is going to be.
As he strikes out Mag, got him on an off-speed pitch. So Ray Durham leads it off with a single. And in the third, after half inning of play, it's the Sox nothing. The Cardinals coming to bat.
Starter will be the shortstop Edgar Renteria, will be followed by Polanco at second base. J.D. Drew is in center field. Mark McGuire, the cleanup hitter today, by Albert Pujols at third base. Bobby Bonilla is out in right field. Craig Paquette left. Catcher is Eli Marrero, and on the mound, Bud Smith. And David Wells. First of the Cards in his career. He's 2-0 with a 1.50 ERA. His last start, he went 7 innings, gave up 7 hits and no runs. He's won his last 2 decisions.
So the shortstop, Edgar Renteria, will lead it off, hitting at .236, 5 homers. He's driven in 22. Outfield slightly to the right. Creedy at the cut of the grass at third. Konerko halfway at first and off the line. We had 2 for 7 in the series with an RBI. Edgar is 25 years old. There's a base hit just over the outstretched leap of Creedy.
Let's have a look at the defense behind David today. From left to right in the outfield, you have Lee, Singleton, Ordonez. Infield with Creedy, Clayton, Durham, and Konerko. And behind the plate, you have Sandy Alomar Jr.
That'll bring up a good-looking player, Placido Polanco. He's just 25, hitting at .320, no homers, 13 RBIs, 5 for 8 in this series, and he's driven in 3. This guy can play anywhere. Takes first pitch, strike. And all of us here at Fox Sports Net would like to welcome our affiliate, F&B Cable, and all our viewers in Wheatland, Illinois. Wheatland, yes.
Mentioning Polanco, yeah, he can do a bit of everything for the Cardinals. Wasn't supposed to start in the first game of this series. Ended up with 3 hits and an RBI yesterday. A couple of knocks. Drove in a couple of big runs. So scored a couple.
Close pitch, didn't get it. Another count, 1-1. I was talking with some Cardinal people yesterday, and they said that this guy's got to play every day someplace.
You see, it's lefties fairly well. 361 clip.
J.D. Drew on deck. Cardinals hitting at 268 as a club with that 4.26 ERA. St. Louis at home, 21-11. And this is the 15th meeting since interleague play started in '97. In the first 14 games, Cardinals have won 9 of them. There's a bullet base hit. Renteria will pull up at second. Maggs gets it back in quickly. Here come the Cardinals. This Polanco is really an impressive young player.
He uses the whole field. He knows how to hit. He's one of those guys who hits the ball on the line all over the baseball diamond. Here he's going to shoot it right in the hole with Konerko holding on Renteria. Pitch was away from him. That's the thing that I've seen in this series from Polanco, is that he tends to hit the ball wherever it's pitched, which means he sees the ball very well.
Here's J.D. Drew, another 25-year-old, hitting at 332, 21 homers, 49 driven in. Takes first pitch, strike. J.D. 5 for 8 in this series with a homer, and he's driven in 3.
When he hits lefties at a 275 clip, he has a 7-game hitting streak. During that streak, he has 15 hits.
That's a pretty good 7-game hitting streak. Wells in trouble here in the bottom of the first as there's a curveball dropped over.
There you see that hitting streak. A couple of home runs added to those 15 hits and 7 RBIs.
Big man on deck, Mark McGwire. Just off the corner.
Drew hit himself a bomb yesterday into left center field. A 3-run blast off of Kip Wells. Put an end to Kip sailing through that ball game yesterday.
Take him right here, David. Just got a piece of it. Drew out of Valdosta, Georgia, attended Florida State. 2 years ago when they first called him up, he hit a home run they measured at 490 feet.
He has 21 home runs this season. Career high. Hasn't even made it to the All-Star break. This kid has got the potential that they knew. He put some big numbers up, but he hasn't even reached where he's going yet. Pretty scary.
Just off the corner. Wells wanted that pitch. Didn't get it from Mike Everett.
See that last pitch.
The 2-2. Curveball, he's gone. Took something off, had him way out in front. 1 down.
That's an outstanding pitch selection from David Wells. Especially after the good fastball right off the outside corner. You have Drew probably thinking, okay, I got to be ready to cover that little sneaky fastball. So instead he gets the slow, big breaking ball from David Wells. David Wells pretty much just outthought J.D. Drew on the pitch selection.
So here's the big man, Mark McGwire, hitting at 224, 5 homers, driven in 9. 2 of those homers coming in the opener on Friday. There's a good strike. He had 4 hits in that ball game. Boy, he hit a couple in BP today that were just, well, landmarkers. Awesome.
Yeah, he hits balls in batting practice that no other human can really do.
Base hit. They had to shift on too. So the ball is dropped by Singleton. They got a shot at third. No. Renteria scores. That'll be an error on Chris. That'll be his first error of the season. And it's 1-0 St. Louis.
And that's a big error by Chris. That allows Polanco into third base now with 1 out. You see Chris? He gloves it, and then when he reaches in, he just doesn't get the handle on it, and it's too far away from him. Polanco had pulled up, was staying at second base, and then realized he better take a chance to get in there, and it worked out for him.
So here's the St. Louis third baseman, Albert Pujols. 21 years old, 350, 20 homers, 61 driven in. You see hitless in his last 9 at-bats. 8 of those coming in this series.
I was talking with Al Raboski yesterday, and Al said that this Pujols has the ability to drive the ball to right field as he's spread out. Also can pull his hands in quickly on fastballs and other pitches in on him.
Puts that one into right center field. Nobody's going to get it. One hot ground rule double. Polanco scores, and it's 2-0.
What Raboski was talking about, his ability to drive the ball into the gap out there straight away right. Not much of a stride with Pujols. At 21 years old, you see this little tiny stride, and he really drives the ball, but he also can pull the hands in and turn on you.
Well, here's Bobby Bonilla. Takes fastball strike outside corner. Bonilla, the right fielder this afternoon, hitting at 211, 4 homers. He's driven in 15. And of course, just put that game on Friday night on ice with that pinch hit grand slam homer in the 7th inning. 0-2.
We had held Pujols down in his first couple of games and wasted no time getting his stroke back and swing against David Wells. 62 RBIs for that young 21-year-old.
Bonilla's gone on 3. 2 down. You got Craig Paquette.
You got that last pitch by David Wells. He's going to paint the outside corner. You're going to see Bonilla. It looks like he's looking in, fly open a little bit, and then try and reach out at the last second. He gave up the outside part of the plate. No way he can cover it.
Paquette, 2 for 4 yesterday with a couple of RBIs, hitting at 250, 5 homers, 17 driven in. And you get some room to work right here with first base open and Eli Marrero on deck. Back through the middle. They'll drive in a pair, and it's 4-0. Well, they decided not to pitch carefully to Paquette, who is really a dangerous hitter.
You know Paquette's a dangerous hitter. One thing is, he had struggled against left-handers on this season. Before that at bat, he was 3 for 27, now 4 for 28 on the year against southpaws. Now this is just a fastball right there that he seems to be looking for. He just hits it right back up the box on the ground. It's a quick 2.
Well, I think I'd rather pitch to Marrero than Paquette. Regardless. Anyway, here's Marrero. 268, 3 homers, driven in 7. Takes ball one inside. 4-run first so far for the Cardinals. Jams him, pops him up. But some damage is done. That crooked number goes up on the board. And after one, it is 4-0 St. Louis. He got a chance to be a real good offensive player. Pinch hit yesterday for his first major league at bat. Went 0 for 1. Real engaging young man. For the Sox here in the second, it'll be Konerko, Alomar, and Creedy.
There's Aaron right there. It is a fortunate situation when you know half the guys that played with him, then you get called up. You feel comfortable right away.
Paul hitting at .260, 13 homers, driven in 41. 2 for 8 with a homer and 2 RBIs in this series. There's a breaking ball strike. Just tuning in, this 21-year-old rookie left-hander out on that mound looks good. Looks like he knows what he is trying to do. Fastball tailing away, foul to the right side, and very quickly 0-2. That's the thing you want to look about, especially for the young left-hander. And again, we can use the analogy of Mark Burley. It certainly appears that Bud Smith is not afraid of the bat. Well, he gets out and around that.
Well, Bud Smith appears that he's got some confidence. Why not? They're 17-2 the year before. They dominated at the AA and AAA levels. Naturally, you're going to think you can come up to the big leagues and be successful also.
It's 12-1 at Arkansas, 5-1 at Memphis. There's a shot base hit by the outstretched effort of Placido Blanco. So Ray started it off last inning with a base hit. Paulie starts this inning off with a solid single. Here comes Alomar. Sandy hitting at .255, a couple of homers. He's driven in 15.
Series was 0 for 2, flied to right, flied to left. Based on ball, was hit by a pitch. There's 0 for his last 2.
High into right field, Bobby Bonilla. 1 down.
And here's a reminder: every Monday is Half Price Monday at Comiskey Park. The White Sox take on the Royals tomorrow at 7:05 with all tickets half the regular price. For tickets, call 312-831-1-SOX.
That'll bring up Joe Creedy. Joe 2 for 8 in this series. Couple of RBIs. And we'll check the slate of action around baseball for you. Interleague action shows Boston and Atlanta. Montreal hosting Toronto. Cleveland at Pittsburgh. The Cleveland-Pittsburgh game, no score after 4. Sabathia against Ritchie in that one. Baltimore taking on the Phillies, which appear to have some internal struggles going on. Baltimore leading that game 6-2 after 2.5. Texas is at Houston. Minnesota taking on the Cubs at Wrigley. Kansas City at Milwaukee. Angels hosting the Dodgers. Tampa Bay at Florida. Oakland taking on the Giants at Pac Bell. Detroit at Arizona. San Diego at home against Seattle. Yankees against the Mets at Shea, and Colorado taking on the Reds and Cincinnati. There's strike 3. That's the 3rd strikeout for young Bud Smith.
This last pitch to Joe Creedy. 1-2-3 at bat. Guerrero set up. Basically just filled the mid up right where he wanted it. Knees, inside corner. Wow. Locating your pitch.
That's throwing it through a teacup. So here's Royce Clayton. 0 for 7 in this series. Outfield around to the right. First pitch strike.
Well, so far, you've got to agree with you, Hawk, that this young man knows what he's doing out there. And your assessment on him, his control and location and his pitches seem to be right on.
Oh, and 2 the count. And just again coming right at him. Smith just 6 feet tall, 170 pounds. Has a build a little bit like Ron Gidman. Former brilliant left-hander for the Yankees. Tops that one foul.
You notice one thing that Smith has been doing is getting ahead of the hitters. And that's the first thing you want to do when you step on the hill is put the hitter at the disadvantage. And he's been doing it through the first 7 batters that he's faced.
That's the biggest pitch in baseball. First pitch strike. Those who throw it usually enjoy success. Those who do not usually, well, they have problems. Young pitchers have got to learn. Former outstanding center fielder for the Cardinals, Andy Van Slyke, and I were talking about it yesterday. Young pitchers have got to learn that you absolutely have got to understand that every time you throw a fastball down the middle or hang a breaking pitch, it's not going to be hit out of the ballpark. And ironically, the more you understand that, the easier it is to hit the corners and hit your spots.
See right there, first pitch strike, 7 of the 8 batters in this ball game. That is definitely a Burley-like.
Little comebacker. Well, he has himself an easy inning. And after an inning and a half, he leads it 4-0.
After the game, it's Dodge of Midlothian, Chicago Sports Today. Full recap of today's action, plus analysis from Bill Melton. Don't miss Dodge of Midlothian, Chicago Sports Today immediately after the game on Fox Sports Net.
The great folks at Dodge of Midlothian. Jerry Gorman, Sean Temple. Good people. Meanwhile, we got a bad score here. 4-0. Cardinals, bottom of the second. And the pitcher, Bud Smith, will lead it off. Outfield short, swung well around to the left. First pitch strike. And for every strikeout recorded by a Sox pitcher this season, Taco Bell is proud to make a charitable donation to the Boys and Girls Club of Chicago. Taco Bell pitching for the kids of Chicago. Pretty good rip right there by Smith.
As you said, during batting practice, he takes a good whack. I mentioned that Collins has swung the bat well. And he's right on David Wells' pitch here.
Ground ball to the shortstop. Royce Clayton sucks it up. 1 go. That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, the shortstop, Edgar Renteria. Line to single just past the jumping Joe Creedy. Jumping Joe.
Renteria had a tough finish to his ball game yesterday. Ejected in the 8th inning. The 7th inning after being punched out looking. Third base umpire Ray. Rob Drake was punched out in the 6th and 7th inning looking, so he wasn't happy.
Curveball strike.
He decided that he didn't want to finish that one yesterday and said a few choice words to Rob Drake.
Well, if that's the case, he should have been ejected.
As he was.
A lot of the umpires, not all of them, but some of them will give you a little bit of a beef as long as you don't curse.
I think that's so true, especially now. The umpires have made a good effort not to go after the players as much. And Rob Drake didn't do that to Renteria yesterday, as he run Renteria up the first at bat. I mean, the first time he struck out looking, Renteria just dropped his bat at home plate, didn't do anything about it. The next time he did.
Jammed him. Good pitch by David. Good near it, though. 2 down. Tell you one thing. 8 or 10 years ago, maybe just a little around that time, maybe a couple of years previous to that, that got to be a bad situation where umpires were absolutely going after players. I mean, all you had to do was just look at them, not say a word, and they were going to come after you, and that has really subsided. Here's Polanco. Hits this ball deep into right center field. Maggs making the call. He's got the ball. A 1-2-3 inning for David, and after 2, it is still 4-0 Cardinals. This is very rare. A lot of Sox fans in attendance. Sox fans coming down from Chicago. Up on Southwest Airlines. Come on down. David Wells will lead it off here in the top of the 3rd. Wells back to the top of the order with Durham and Singleton. Oh, the boomer. Look at this. No, not far enough. Renteria cannot make the play.
Yes, it was far enough. Renteria.
Boy, there's a Doc Edwards shot right there.
Oh, he tried to make a little sliding behind Pujols' catch. I think he got a little nervous with Pujols standing right there on top of him. Yet scored that one. I believe that's going to end up being an error. He hit it about 6 inches above his hands. He never even got a glove on that ball, actually, but they gave Renteria an error.
Doesn't make any difference. He's on first base. Thanks.
So true.
Well, you know, David Wells' favorite baseball player is Babe Ruth. The reason he wears number 33. A little reminiscent of the Babe.
Right there on that finish.
Yeah.
It's true. Wow.
2-0 the count.
We're going to turn the screen to black and white. Right. Somebody glanced at that and thought that was the Babe's finish.
On his edge. Yeah, exactly.
Right there, the home run total. Yeah.
No. Shot foul.
Tell you what, you mentioned Bud Smith out on that hill. Ray Durham just had a 2-0 count, got a fastball, and was tardy. Just sneaking it up there on the hitters. Now, if you can get in on David Wells, he must be having some gas.
Outfield bunching. Durham. Change up off the plate. 3-1. Tardy right there.
Yeah, hitters count 3-1. Tardy. There's something about the background today. They're not picking the ball up immediately off of Smith, or something in his motion that's deceiving the hitters on the pace of his fastball.
Count hangs at 3-2.
And a dreaded 3-2 count. Smith. The veteran pitch, a changeup.
Come on, Ray. Let's get some runs right here. Cardinals over the years, we mentioned this has been just an organization rich with tradition. 9 world championships. And look at some of those guys up there who had their numbers retired from this St. Louis lineup. That's foul right back over our heads. Championships 26, 31, 34, 42, 44, 46, 64, 67. They lost in 7 games in 68 and won another championship in 82. Of course, they lost also in 7 games to Kansas City as there's ball 4, so the first 2 men aboard. Vieira and the Womp.
They lost that series in 85 to KC. Very exciting series that was.
Ozzie Smith, Red Shandy, Stan Musial, Nina Slaughter, Kenny Boyer, Dizzy Dean, Lou Brock, Bob Gibson, Jesse Bush, the owner here, and Rogers Hornsby.
You know it's a baseball town when you have nicknames and first names up there retired.
One of the neat things here is you look at Red Shandy. Just a terrific second baseman. Here's Singleton. Just struck out. Hits this ball hard into center field, but J.D. Drew read it perfect. That's a hang whoop'em for Chris. 1 out.
Chris still 0 for the series, but smoked that ball. Still making a big difference on infield placement because of him dropping down so many bunts. They're playing way up.
Here's Carlos. Grounded out to third on a good changeup from Bud Smith. First pitch strike. It's always neat too here in St. Louis to see most of the fans all decked out in red.
Red or white usually. It's a nice fit in this stadium.
Third ball high. 1-1.
On the way to the ballpark downtown here. See all the fans walking along the stadium, the ball in red and white. You just definitely know exactly where you're at.
Ground ball could be. Pujols, Blanco, wrapping up. So Smith pitches out of it on the off-speed stuff. As Carlos rolling to the 5-4-3 double play. And after 2.5, it's 4-0 bad guy. Cardinals with 4 runs in the first inning. If you're just tuning in, Renteria led it off with a single. Polanco a single. J.D. Drew struck out. Mark McGuire an RBI single. RBI double by Pujols. And then a big 2-out. Bases loaded single by Craig Paquette.
And while we have a moment, here's a reminder. The White Sox take on the Royals this Wednesday at 1:05. All senior citizens in attendance are invited to run the bases after the game. For tickets, call 312-831-1-SOX.
So here in the bottom of the third, it'll be Drew, McGuire, and Pujols. Struck out swinging on a slow curveball his first trip. Sounded like it got him pretty good.
That's the 4th Cardinals batter hit in this series. That's the first one that was hit solidly, like got him on the hand. Usually, the old statement was, got hit on the hands, it was your own fault. You didn't pull him out of there. You stayed in there a little too long. It is his hand. The 3 previous batters that have been hit in this series have all scored. He threw his his hands right at the ball.
Still amazes me today on how hitters just don't react well at the plate. The pitches inside, they're not that far off the plate.
And you saw he didn't have to move his body. So it wasn't coming at his body. He just threw his hands as if the pitch was going to be something he was going to swing at, and realized at the last second. He doesn't even get his body out of the way. Look at, he's closed. The ball's already on its way almost to him. And the last second, oh, that is really a late reaction.
Yes, it is. Here's McGuire. Single sharply back through the middle. Knocked in Renteria as he takes that pitch inside. J.D. Drew 6 for 9 in stolen bases. Big hack by Big Mac. No contact.
Yeah, sometimes during day games, you don't see the ball very well out of the pitcher's hands. There's just some glare behind him out there off the backdrop. And I mentioned that maybe our hitters having trouble picking it up from Bud Smith, but so far the Cardinals hitters haven't had any trouble picking the ball up off of David Wells, so that's probably not the problem.
That's inside. 2-1. Mac. .559 career homers as the count goes to 3-1. Of course, there's where number 70 went. 70 homers. There's a good strike. So a full count to McGuire.
This is 2 times that David Wells has been able to sneak a fastball in on Mark McGuire, that inside corner. It appears that Mike Hibber calls the inside pitch for the lefties.
Well, he's got a chance to because of the way he sets up at the plate. Love that setup position by Mike there. Gives you a chance to look at both corners rather than just guessing at one of them. The way a lot of them was because of their setup position. Got him. Guire didn't like the call.
Well, 2 times he called the inside pitch on McGuire, and he's gone.
Well, unless he cursed him, I'll tell you, that's tough. If he cursed him, it's different.
I got to believe Mark McGuire probably did not curse him.
Me too.
Mark McGuire has shown that he didn't like the calls from Everett. Last at bat, 1 strike on him. He called it inside. Here, 2 on him. He's called inside, and McGuire didn't like either one of them.
Well, what Tony is talking to Everett about, did he curse? If he didn't, there's 40,000 people in these seats here didn't come to see you umpire.
This is so true, but that's the high strike right at the top. Let's see, right at Sandy's mask here on the inside part of the plate.
Oh, yeah, that's a good strike.
That it is. And if you're an umpire, the guy has maybe complained to you a couple times before on the same pitch, you might get a little intolerant. But you're right. You know, we talk about what a great job the umpires have been doing, showing patience to the hitters and the pitchers and the fielders, but sometimes they got to show a little more refrain when it's a big-time star who doesn't curse you or do something out of the real ordinary.
I bet you a dozen golf balls right now that he didn't curse. Meanwhile, from the other side of that page's perspective, from Tony La Russa's, I'm happy. Here's Pujols. RBI double and a run scored in the first inning. There goes Drew. What a good jump he got. Wow. Sandy would have made no throw right there.
Yeah, that was a hit and run, it appears, but with the jump that Drew had, now that couldn't have been a hit and run. That was Pujols in the box. He just didn't see that Drew took off on first movement and had that bag standing up. Put a hit and run on. This big man in the box.
Well, one thing about it too is you don't get that kind of jump on a hit and run. That was a Lance Johnson jump right there.
Usually a right-hander can see a guy get a jump like that. Kind of surprised that he swung it.
Curveball. 1-1 to count. Four runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Cardinals. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Sox. Singleton deep in center. Huge gap in left center. Flips that curveball up there, and it's high. Well, the count 2-1.
Well, you just mentioned David flipped that curveball up there. It doesn't have this real sharp bite. That's the one thing for David this season. It seems it's been a little inconsistent as the sharpness of his curveball.
Last time out against Cincinnati, first 5 innings, he was really sharp with that hook. That pitch popped up. Clayton, glasses on. 2 out. So with 2 outs, that'll bring up to right fielder Bobby Bonilla. Wells got him on 3 pitches his first at bat. Popped up into left field. Carlos coming on. He's there and he makes the catch. With a stumbling, falling action. Meanwhile, they'll retire the side. We'll go to the 4th. We need 4 to tie.
All-time leader in home runs and RBI and World Series games. Good question.
4-0 St. Louis here in the top of the 4th. It'll be Maggs, Konerko, and Alomar. A couple of changes. Kerry Robinson moves into right field for Bobby Bonilla, who moves into first base for Mark McGwire, who was just ejected. If you're just joining us, there's Kerry Robinson. So here's Maggs. Struck out swinging on a changeup to end the first inning. Breaking ball strike. And we got some email, Feisty.
All right. Come here.
Love you, man. There's a base hit right back through the middle. So Maggs starts things off. That is the 4th straight inning we've had the leadoff man aboard. 3 with hits, 1 on an error. Here comes Polly. He started off the 2nd with a base hit. This one from the Hodel family from Elgin, Illinois. Question is, how hard or easy do you think it will be for the club to win the division, or at least win the wild card, considering the Sox are on fire and there are still about 98 games left?
It's not going to be easy.
No.
For either one.
Well, the Hodel family, Tony, Jeremy, Pete, Matt, and another Tony. No, it won't be easy at all. One thing about it is that, when you have as many guys go down and you're going to get them back, that's one thing. But when you have a lot of guys go down that you're not going to get back until next season, that is an entirely different scenario. Now, we're going to get back Jose and we're going to get back Herbert. The Big Frank, huge loss. Parquet and Eldred, Seamus, Osuna. Could be, should be. Back him up. Second 5-4-3 double play turned in as many innings. Cardinals have now turned 68 on the season.
Here's a reminder. It's the Miller Lite Get the Goods $1 Million Pitch. One lucky fan will get a chance to win $1 million by tossing a pitch at the White Sox Pirates game on Saturday, July 7th. Enter wherever Miller Lite is sold.
Yeah, when those guys are gone for the year, it just really makes it very, very difficult. But the biggest thing is not what Sandy takes that pitch up high off the plate. Again, it's not what we think, it's what the players think. Go down there and ask them to a man. They think they can get back in this thing. We will get a resounding yes.
You and I are not disagreeing with that at all. We're just mentioning that it's not going to be easy. The work is definitely cut out for him in the form of getting back in this.
Well, we come here. We have had some help from Pittsburgh and the Cubs as that ball hit hard into left. Paquette is there. And it'll retire the side after 3.5. Bud Smith pitching well.
For Affleck trivia question and answer. Here's the Cardinals all-time leader in home runs and RBIs in the World Series games. Lou Brock. 4 home runs, 14 RBIs.
I tell you what, he hit one against us in '67 in that World Series at Fenway Park. It was one of the longest left-handed home runs I have ever seen hit at Fenway Park. He hit one. They didn't measure them back in those days. That ball had to go 465, 75 feet. Craig Paquette will lead it off. He is 1 for 1, 2 RBIs. That men on second, third, 2 out. David threw him first ball fastball, and he ripped a single right back through the middle. This guy has a penchant for getting big hits.
Yeah, it seems over the last few years, every time you turn on a Cardinals game, you see him stepping up and driving in a big run for him.
It's been amazing. Last year, just did a terrific job. Some guys that are like that. Most aren't. It's not what you hit, it's when you hit it. He's gone. They'll grab some bench for out number 1. 4th strikeout for David Wells. So here's the catcher, Eli Marrero. He got jammed. Had a little blooper to Durham at second. Here's another email. This is from Jennifer. She's wondering how many baseballs have gone through in a game. As that pitch popped up softly, Creedy, he's there. Well, Jennifer, they prepare 5 dozen, 60 balls, but there's always obviously many more in reserve. But the umpires today, as a rule, get the umpire's clubhouse guy to rub them up prior to the game, so they don't do that. They use that Delaware mud. There's a pop up by Bud Smith going up there. Hacking, Singleton, very quickly. 1, 2, 3. That is 6 in a row retired by David. And we're into the 5th, still trailing by 4. Finale of this 3-game set. Young Bud Smith going a 3-hit shutout as we get set to go to the top of the 5th inning. Making his first major league start. And this is 3rd major league appearance. He's 21 years old, 6 feet tall, 170 pounds. He'll face the lower third of the order. It'll be Creedy, Clayton, and Wells. So a strikeout victim. Takes ball 1. And here's another email from Saperkins. Guys, this question is concerning Mark Burley. We're getting a ton of emails on Mark Burley. It's off the end of the bat in the left field. Craig Paquette can't pull. 1 out. Said, what is the secret out there on the mound? I think that it's because he does a great job of locating his pitches. I would like to know how good he can be. Which is better for a pitcher, good stuff or good location?
Both. Have great location and great stuff, but you have to pick one or the other. I think locating your pitches is more important.
I don't think there's any question. I've seen a lot of guys with great stuff that never got the job done. Couldn't throw strikes. All the stuff that you have is negated if you can't throw strikes. But Burley is a special young man. We've been talking about him for several years, anticipating his arrival onto the scene with the Sox. He has great command. He has 4 pitches, actually 5 now, counting the cut fastball. And he gets them all over. But he's got a terrific makeup. That ball hit hard in the right field. Harry Robinson goes back as it 1 hops the fence. So Clayton into second with a 1-out double. Well, Royce has his 4th 2-bagger.
First time in a long time we've seen that opposite field drive from Royce. A lot of hits up the middle, but this one, it's the fastball out over the plate that he drives well over Kerry Robinson's head in right field. He's playing way in. We've seen in the past, before Royce joined the Sox, good power the opposite way.
So here's Wells. He reached on an error by Renteria. That was the 10th error of the season by Renteria. There's a bunt. That's going foul. Yeah, but Burley is really something. The makeup he has out on that mound, he's not afraid of the bat. He has a terrific feel for pitching. He works both sides of the plate. He knows how to pitch up, which is just ultra important. You get some guys pitching the big leagues for 10, 12 years, and they never learn how to pitch up.
Well, we see Bud Smith out there today, very similar to Mark Burley's style of pitching. And because he has the off-speed pitches, the mingle in, and the control, his fastball much more effective getting up on the hitters. You see the same thing from Mark Burley. Everybody has to cover all of his pitches because they know he can throw them for strikes. Therefore, the fastball, instead of being 88, 89, is now like 94.
Well, guys who know how to pitch up and have 4 pitches and get them over, as David can't get that one, they maximize their fastball, where guys who don't have or cannot throw their breaking stuff for strikes minimize their fastball. DJ was saying, if you can get your change up and your off-speed stuff over, that 88, as David goes down, 4th strikeout for Smith. And that fastball all of a sudden goes up to 93, 94, as opposed to a guy who say, let's just throw for conversation's sake, he throws 96, 97, and he can't get a breaking ball over. He's 2-0-3-1 on guys. That fastball is minimized and goes down to about 90, 91 in the eye of the hitter. So here's Ray. Ray has singled hard and walked. Top of right side, Polanco. And Bud Smith having himself a very successful major league debut.
Time right now to have a look at our Dodge game summary. The Sox have 4 hits but no runs. St. Louis 5 hits, 4 runs. Smith, he's been sailing through his 5 innings of work with 1 base on ball, 4 punch-outs on 63 pitches. Mark McGwire ejected for arguing strikes.
Top of the order for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 5th as they lead it 4-0. That'll be Renteria, Polanco, and J.D. Drew. Renteria 1 for 2, a single. Leading off the bottom of the 1st when the Cardinals scored all 4 of their runs, if you're just joining us, as he takes curveball strike. Outfield slightly to the right. Creedy, even with the bag, off the line at third. Canerco halfway at first, and he's off the line. Another curve, another strike, and the count very quickly 0-2. Another curve, he's gone. Grab some bench, 5th strikeout for David. 1 gone.
Here's a reminder, the White Sox take on the Orioles on Friday, June 29th at 7:05. First 15,000 fans, 21 and older, will receive White Sox 100th anniversary Tankard mugs courtesy of Miller Lite. For tickets, call 312-8311-SOX.
Placido Polanco, 1 for 2. He also has scored a run. Makes that pitch up high. And here's another email. This one from Tony Griffith from Indiana. It says, Hawk, who was the toughest pitcher you ever faced? Oh, Tony, has been too many to name. I can tell you one thing. There's a name as that's trouble down into the right field corner. Boy, Polanco is really a good-looking player. Wow. 7th two-bagger. But right there, that number 45 you're looking at, Bob Gibson was certainly one of them. He was something. One of the great competitors in the history of this game. So, batting for J.D. Drew. That hand must have blown up on him a little bit. We have Ray Langford.
You talk about Polanco. There's no luck in what we're seeing him do. Last season with 323 at-bats, he had 316. And I had heard that Manny Mota gave a big endorsement on Polanco, saying, you know, that kid can play before he ever got to the big leagues. So if Manny Mota's endorsing you, you definitely have some talent.
Manny Mota, one of the great pinch hitters in baseball's history. So here's Langford. There he is, numbers 245, 13 homers, 32 driven in. Outfield around to the left, not equidistant. Curveball strike. And you see Lee, Singleton, and Max. Langford in the first game went 0 for 2 with a couple of walks and a run scored. Another curveball and the count 0-2. There's another email from Jenny from Palatine. Talking DJ, do you think anyone from the White Sox will be in the All-Star game? If so, who?
Well, each team has to be represented, so somebody from the Sox is going to be going. And we have Mark Burley, also have Maglio Ordonez now who's swinging the bat well. Carlos Lee. Got some candidates there.
Yeah, well, it's still counting this game here. 21 more games before the All-Star break. So Mags, if he can stay hot, definitely a big candidate. I would say right now, though, if the All-Star game were tomorrow and they were going to make the choices tomorrow, the most serious contender would be indeed 22-year-old left-hander Mark Burley.
We also have Keith Falk, who has done an outstanding job out of the bullpen. So we got some choices.
Yeah, there's some guys who can get there. Curveball. He's gone. 6 strikeouts for David. Big breaking ball from David.
Took a lot off of it, left on the inner part, but froze. Saw it froze right there. Langford couldn't pull the trigger on it. He thought it was a ball. So a lot of strikeouts for Langford on the season now. That was his 75th.
So here's Kerry Robinson. David very quickly over to throws the ball away. Polanco will score as Robinson on his way to third. Here's a throw by Maggs. They going to get him? Yes. Beautiful peg by Maggs. But Polanco scores, and it's a 5-0 ball game after 5.
Wrap up your race day with NASCAR Victory Lane. A full half hour of everything you need to get you from the pole position to the winner's circle. NASCAR Victory Lane tonight at 9, only on Fox Sports Net. Take a look at that last throw. Maggs Ordonez racing over. Kerry Robinson being a little too greedy. And the wild throw from David Wells down the right field line, and Maggs with the one hop, tag down. Gotcha.
Meanwhile, that run scored, the unearned run, and we're down 5-0 here in the top of the 6th inning. Craig Paquette moves from left to right. Ray Langford remains in the ball game in left, and Kerry Robinson in center. Chris Singleton will lead it off. Chris 0 for 2. Last time up, he just hammered one. A bullet. J.D. Drew in center.
The Sox have been doing outstanding pitching. As Chris takes that breaking ball for a strike. During that run of 16 wins and 4 losses before yesterday's ball game, opponents only hitting .235 against the Sox. They scoring 2.59 runs. And a good strike.
Well, one thing about Chris Singleton's not going to curse at anybody.
No. That Christian background.
That ball hit deep into right center field. Kerry Robinson giving chase. He's there. Makes a nice running catch. That young man can run.
Yeah, he covered a lot of ground on that ball, let alone we saw how he flew all the way down to around the third base when it was thrown out by Maglio on this run. It was calling it, then called off by Robinson.
Paquette had no chance to get that ball.
No, he wasn't getting there.
Carlos takes the fastball outside. Carlos 0 for 2 twice. He's gone out to third, once into a twin killing. Strike on the corner. Cardinals may have found somebody in this young man. Of course, the problems of Rick Ankiel. He is impressive. 4 pitches, gets them all over. Works in and out, up and down. And he's left-handed. There's a bullet by Seeley. Paquette. Going to get it back in to hold Carlos to the single.
You're mentioning the way Bud Smith is throwing the ball today. He brought Ankiel up. You can get Ankiel back on track and finding the strike zone. Boy, you're talking about a southpaw 1-2 punch in these two from what we're seeing from Smith so far. Oh, that's a good young southpaw combination to have at the big league level.
Here's Maggs. He's 1 for 2. Breaking ball high. Third time around for our guys.
Maglio pulled the base hit up the middle last time up. Continues his hot hitting in June.
That ball hit deep into left field, way back. Langford looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes! Two-run homer for Mags, his 17th. He now has 49 RBIs, and it's a 5-2 ball game.
So Maglio chiming in just when we're talking about his hot hitting in June. The replay right here. The Hyundai home run replay. He gets himself a little off-speed pitch over the heart of the plate. And the way he's locked in now, a good idea to leave it over the heart of the plate to Maglio.
And with that home run hit by Maglio, another $40,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. And also the Alex Snellius family will donate $100 to Chicago White Sox charities for every White Sox homer hit during the 2001 season. 2-0 to Konerko. Paulie 1 for 2.
Maglio came into this game hitting .423 with 6 home runs and 12 RBIs in June. Taking up a notch to 7-14, 430 now or so.
3-0. Almarero goes out, try to settle him down. First major league homer thrown by Bud Smith.
Well, you can see how the 21-year-old reacts after giving up his first long ball. Immediately falling behind the next hitter, 3-0.
There's one.
Cardinals now, just in case the wheels come off for Smith. Somebody getting a little warm down there in their pen.
And that's ball 4. Activity down in that Cardinal pen, right-hander Mike James. So now it's almost hard to describe how many times that happens. When you see a young pitcher out there throw a home run, he walks the next hitter.
Pretty typical. I mean, you almost come to expect it, and you are surprised when you get the opposite, where he goes right after the hitter and gets it.
Dave Duncan out to talk to him. And that'll bring up Sandy Alomar, who's hit the ball hard twice. Once deep into right. He's back in the 4th inning, hit a bullet to left field.
Now that home run, that's 5 out of the last 6 games Maglio has homered in.
Outfield straight up. Off the end of the bat. Blanco going to go over to Bonilla. 2 down. That'll bring up Joe Creedy. Was caught looking on strikes and flying to left. Pick him up.
Yeah, sneak up on one right here.
High and deep into left field. Kerry Robinson back at the wall. Looks up. It's off the fence. So Creedy into third. Almost had his first major league homer. Meanwhile, Konerko scores, and it's a 5-3 ball game, and Kerry Robinson is down.
Let's hope he's all right, but Kerry Robinson had a lot of trouble reading that high fly from Joe Creedy. He got back like he was set up for, and then kept drifting, then had to jump. Just smoked the ball. A lot of liftage right there from Joe Creedy. hit the wall and then hit him in the face.
If he reads that ball right, he makes the catch. Joe coming just a couple of feet from his first major league homer. And Dave Duncan coming out. He's going to go to the bullpen.
And put a stop to the damage here. Now with 2 outs. Robinson, he did take a good hit off of that wall. That ball got him pretty flush in the face.
So the second trip to the mound. Bud Smith pitched well in his major league debut as a starter. Go to Park, and we'll be back.
300 against him. 29 2/3, 34 hits, 4 long balls along with 11 walks, and 21 strikeouts. He's got a man on third base and 2 outs. And a good moving fastball. So slurve-like slider. Not afraid to backdoor to some lefties.
So the 33-year-old right-hander out of Fort Walton Beach, Georgia, Florida, 6'3", 205 pounds. As we get ourselves a 5-3 game, 5-6-2 for the Cardinals, 3-7-2 for the Sox, and this is the finale of this 3-game set.
Well, you had just said it. Third time around for a lot of these hitters against Bud Smith, and we talked about earlier in the game. Sometimes it takes a little while to gauge you guys, especially with the quality of Smith's pitches, and finally got to him. But that last play by Robinson actually really helped us out, because you know, with his talent, if he'd have been back there at the wall waiting for that one, he'd have made the catch.
Yeah, as you said, he did not read that well at all. He had plenty of time, especially with his speed, which he's already shown us to get back. He really may not even jump for it.
Yeah, it's not a high wall out there, but since he was off the pace of that ball, he had to jump up at the last second and try and reach back.
So here's Royce Clayton. Royce has bounced back to the pitcher, and he has doubled down in the right field area. One off the wall. Outfield around to the right. Slider strike.
It'd be big right here for Royce to come through with a nice 2-out RBI hit. That double he drove to right field last time up. That same approach. That one in that gap in right center field.
Jeff Leefer out on deck there for David Wells. If Royce can reach. Takes that pitch down low, and the count evens at 1. Come on, Royce. Need you right here. He hung him one, got away with it.
Yeah, he did. He kind of tied Royce up. Actually, Royce tied himself up, trying to stand the ball. Realizing it was actually a good pitch to hit. Sometimes you keep that front shoulder closed too long, and it's too late to react and open up and hit those hangers.
Pitcher throwing just off the corner. Good try by Mike James. Activity for the Sox. There's Gary Glover just called up from Charlotte as Matt Ginter was sent back down. Full count, good eye. Ball 4, base hit.
Base hit, ball 4.
Either way. And the payoff pitch. There's a shot going foul. Hung it. He hammered it. A little too quick. Get me over slider right there.
It was. On a 3-2 count. That's odd. Come to expect. Mostly off speed in that count.
Get me over pitches, even though this was foul. Get me over breaking balls in 3-2. Just don't work in the big leagues.
Not anymore, because hitters are now expecting more off-speed stuff, so you still have to catch them off guard with a decent breaking ball.
Once again, the 3-2. And a soft liner caught by Polanco. Nice catch by Placido Polanco to rob Clayton of a base hit. The Sox have a run. But we get right back into it, coming up with 3 after 5 and a half. Cardinals by 2. Missouri, what a wonderful, wonderful baseball town. As that's the story here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Albert Pujols will lead it off against David Wells. He drops that curveball over. Albert 1 for 2, an RBI double, and a run scored in the first inning. O'Neill on deck, Paquette in the hole. Fastball, Tardif.
21-year-old that moved to the States at age 16 to Kansas City has just proven to be a great find for the Cardinals.
Especially with the injuries to Mark McGwire. Just his 2nd year in professional baseball.
Yeah, who'd have thought this kid would have produced the way he has consistently this year.
There's a base hit. Yeah, he runs hard down that line as well.
Well, everything that we've seen in this series is that he doesn't take anything for granted. He runs hard, adjusts well to the game. I mean, like I said earlier, he pulls his hands in on good pitches from pitchers and drives the ball the other way on pitches out over the plate.
Boy, he does something really well up there. There's Bonilla, 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop-up. Fouls that one back. And watch his head. He's hitting from a crouch, a deep crouch. Now watch his head. Marking on something in the back as he starts to make his approach to the pitch. See how level it is? He doesn't come out of the crouch. If you're going to hit from a crouch, you got to stay in a crouch.
The only time he came up was when the ball was up at him. He came up to get it, but that is outstanding.
Got to keep those eyes as quiet and as level, just like an outfielder running for a fly ball. You got a noisy head, chances are you're going to drop some of it.
A little bit that he reminds me of when he's going after a pitch in or away and how he adjusts to it so quickly at the last second. Alex Rodriguez. Kind of throws the bat down for the zone on the ball and gets good backspin on it. Alex Rodriguez is the best I've ever seen it. Going into a pitch a certain way and then reading it and quickly adjusting his hands and his body to smoke it. He wasn't very good looking.
Curveball, strike. So Bonilla is gone.
It's the last one from David Wells. A good strike 3. Here's a reminder. On Saturday, June 30th, the White Sox face the Orioles at 6:05. All fans will enjoy fireworks presented by Old Navy. Plus, the first 30,000 fans at the game will receive 3D viewing glasses with an Old Navy coupon attached. For tickets, call 312-8311-SOX.
Here's Paquette, 1 for 2. A couple of RBIs. Curveball high. 5-7-2 for St. Louis. 3-7-2 for the Sox. Once again, a reminder, make your plans to be with us tomorrow night. That's half price Monday at Comiskey Park. Mark Burley on the hill for the Sox against Chad Durbin of Kansas City. Can't make it. That game will be over WCIU channel 26 as there's a bullet. Base hit. Pujols going to give it a shot. Carlos Now they're going to go to second base. Not in time. Carlos did not expect Pujols to be running on it.
That's the thing when you're in the outfield. You never anticipate anything. The best way not to be embarrassed is get to it quickly and get it in. Learned that at a very, very young age. And Carlos, as you just mentioned, Hawk, didn't really anticipate that Pujols would be so aggressive, but we already saw how he runs, and that little hesitation there, that little drop, Pujols never hesitated. He was running all the way.
Now the Sox got to bring the infield in. As here's Eli Marrero. Good play by Alomar. Very aggressive base running by Albert Pujols. There's a good strike.
You should never anticipate out there on balls hit to you in the outfield. You should just get them to the cutoff man. No need to try and time something, throw runners out, anything like that. Just don't try and stack up your stats or anything when you're in the outfield. You just want to get it back in, get rid of it, and leave it up to somebody else.
Pitch out, anticipating the possibility of the squeeze. Well, even if you're sitting out there with a good arm, the one exception might be occasionally when you're sitting out there with a cannon and can throw strikes. But you're better off, as DJ said, just getting it in as quickly as possible and hit that cutoff man. Over fake, watch out, that ball slammed hard. So he got out and around that one.
Wow, that is getting the head out in a hurry, endangering people straight behind you. Look at this. Ball pulled so far, he had the foul person down the line there had to dive out of the way.
Take him right here, David. Foul right back to the right of DJ.
You mentioned a moment ago the exception of some outfielders in that situation with somebody maybe going to take a base on you. Even those guys, I'm saying, anticipate because they have cannons that they can take it a little easier. They just miss guys by a step a lot of the time.
Yes. There's a one-hopper contact play on. Alomar puts it on Pujols, and that's out number 2.
We said it, contact play on. As soon as this ball's hit, Pujols off to the races. But you got no chance. Right to the third baseman, gives it to Sammy, and plenty of time. Pujols tries to sneak, little tag, of the plate underneath that.
Jim Edmonds going to hit for Mike James. Talking with Jimmy the other night, his original injury was very similar to Frank Thomas. The only difference was he didn't tear his. And then he hit the wall again and injured the bursa sac in his shoulder. He said he couldn't even put his arm up over his head.
You start messing with the joints up there in the shoulder, jam them, separate them, anything like that. It holds you down for quite a while.
Curveball high. Edmonds certainly has been some kind of player. The manufacturer of some of the greatest catches we have seen in center field.
See, he's hit David Wells very well. So lefties in general for the season, he's hitting 300, 304, a couple of home runs.
2-0 the count. Edgar Renteria on deck. Pops him up. Clayton going back. Singleton now making the call. Has the ball, and that'll retire the side. So David pitches out of it. And we'll go to the 7th, trailing by 2.
Wrap up today's action, plus analysis from Bill Melton. Don't miss Dodge of Midlothian and Chicago Sports Today immediately after the game on Fox Sports Net. And there's a pitching change as Edmonds had hit Mike James. It's Jason Christensen. Been in 12 games. No record, as I say. The 3.38 ERA. Opponents only hitting 115 against him. 8 innings, only 3 hits. No long balls, 6 walks, and 5 strikeouts.
So the 31-year-old southpaw, 6'5", 241 pounds, out of Omaha, Nebraska. 6-year veteran. And all his other time in the big leagues with Pittsburgh.
Christensen has a curveball. That's something that he was very successful with. There's a fastball and a slider. I recall facing him when he was with Pittsburgh. Sneaky fastball. Big curve. A slider. He didn't have much of an off-speed changeup, but he didn't need it.
And while we have a moment as he takes his warm-up tosses, let's check out our Mercedes moment. Coming back last inning, Carlos Leopold, 1 out, Mags at the plate.
There it is. Number 5 in the last 6 ball games. Maglio staying hot in the month of June.
He now has 17 on the season to go along with 49 ribbies. Tony Graffinino will hit for David Wells. The numbers on Tony G, 270, a homer. He's driven in 4.
And Tony is a pinch hitter on the season. Done a good job. 4 opportunities. He's got 2 hits.
So Wells worked 6 innings, giving up 5 runs, 4 earned, 8 hits, no walks. That's 7 strikeouts. Christensen's got a bit of a funky motion.
Deceptiveness allows that fastball to sneak up on you a little more than you would expect.
Boy, I hated it. Play sneaky left-handers, especially short arms. Tony gets out and hooks that one over into the photographer's well.
Like Marrero turning the part, so does Tony. Yeah, when you face lefties that have that bit of a funky motion and it gets up on you, you got to somehow find the happy medium of, instead of going by his motion, making an adjustment on your own. That's hard to do. Sometimes you get caught in between. You get too quick, too slow.
And there's such a big difference in facing a short-arming left-hander versus a short-arming right-hander. Tony can't get that one. You might say, why? Nobody can explain it.
It's like nobody can explain why it's natural for a left-hander's ball to move compared to a righty's.
Yeah. That's into center field. Jimmy Edmonds is out there. Boy, he is fun to watch play center.
And see that motion of Christensen's. Here comes set, reach back, and then you see he keeps that crook of his arm kind of crooked rather than straightening out, which shortens his arm motion up. Sneaking it up on the hitter a little differently than reaching back.
On with the ground out. Kerry Robinson moves back over to right field. Paquette at first. Ray, start us off with one out right here. 1-2 the count. We mentioned Mark Burley tomorrow night against Chad Durbin. He can't make it to the ballpark. That game will be over WCIU Channel 26. On Tuesday, James Baldwin against Jeff Suppan. And that game will be over WGN. On Wednesday afternoon, that's a 1 o'clock start, Rocky Biddle against Blake Stein. And that game will be right here with Fox Sports Net. The Sox will have that brief 3-game homestand. And head on out to Baltimore for 4 and Minnesota for 3. 3 big games with the Twinkies. They'll come back home with Baltimore for 3 and Minnesota for 4. And then the Pirates come into town to finish off that 10-game homestand. Ray checks it up. And after that homestand, it's the All-Star break.
Now Ray in the leadoff spot for the season had been hitting 239 compared to 328 from the 3rd hole.
Why do you think that is? Got him. Good pitch.
Well, according to Ray, he just got an opportunity to settle in and watch the pitchers a little bit more back in the 3rd hole. It's just his mentality, I think, was a little different.
And I think it's very valid.
The last pitch, a good pitch.
I'll tell you, somebody who really did a good job in that respect for the big hurt Frank Thomas was Joey Cora when he was with his ball club. Joey would go up there and work that pitcher, give Frank an opportunity to look at 4, 5, 6, 7 pitches.
Yeah, well, occasionally at that same time, I hit in the leadoff spot on accident. Frank used to say, "Don't be afraid to go up there and take a pitch." That wasn't me.
You, to me, were not the prototype leadoff hitter.
No, because if they threw a first pitch fastball, I was hitting it. And I'd get back over there after making it out, and Frank would go, "What's he got, DJ? Thanks for helping me out."
I don't think there's any question that Ray enjoyed that luxury. That's popped up. Foul ground. Pujols giving chase, and he's going to run out of room about 3 rows back.
It's a big miss of Jose Valentin right now, because when Jose was in that leadoff spot, he was hitting 309. And everybody else that has been in the leadoff spot this season has hit at 238. So, to show you, Jose, when he was flipped into that leadoff job, he did an outstanding job. And Ray in the 3-hole was just perfect. And that's when the team really started taking off.
Well, Jose, really, if you compare the patience of the two, has a little bit more patience than Ray in that respect. He will see more pitches. He will see 5 or 6 pitches more in an at-bat than Ray will.
And Jose has an ability to foul tough pitches off, too.
That's one reason you'll see more pitches. There's an art to that. I'll tell you, the guy who does that as well as anybody, especially for an outstanding hitter, Frank Thomas.
Frank does. Also is a new guy in the league in Seattle.
Oh, yeah. It'll be interesting to see, as the count goes to 2-2, interesting to see what hitter in this league sees more pitches than any other hitter when the season's over.
Also, they'll have that crazy stat of how many times a guy swung and missed a pitch. That'll be that guy in Seattle. The least amount of times.
Come on, Chris. Chris has struck out, lined hard to center, and flied deep to right center.
The import of Ichiro Suzuki has definitely brought some offensive numbers to the game, let alone quality defense.
He's gone. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Jason Christensen. 7th inning stretch. It is 5-3 Cardinals.
It's time to have a look at our Fox Sports Net game summary as the Sox got on the board in the 6th. 3 runs. They're down by 2, though, to the Cardinals 5. Mags Ordonez, his 5th home run in the last 6 games. Albert Pujols is 2 for 3 with a double, an RBI and a run scored. We'll have to see that debut, starting debut of Bud Smith. He was sharp today until we finally got to him. The new pitcher for the Sox is Gary Glover. Just recalled In 13 games for the season, he's 2-1 record with an 8.66 ERA. There's 15 strikeouts in his 17 2/3 innings. And he had good numbers down in Charlotte.
Yes, he did. He was 2-1 with a 1.88 ERA. In 38 1/3, he had a shutout down there in 6 starts with Charlotte. 38 innings, allowed only 21 hits, 5 walks, and had 29 strikeouts.
Doesn't surprise anybody.
No, he's got good stuff. Renteria will lead it off. Takes first pitch strike. Edgar 1 for 3 with a single in the first. If you're just tuning in, Cardinals with 4 in the first, an unearned run in the 5th. Sox with all 3 of theirs in the 6th. Outside, 24-year-old right-hander out of DeLand, Florida. The man right there has got a chance to be a good one. 1-2 the count.
I'll tell you something. We saw Gary Glover at the beginning of the year dominate, and then he got into a bit of a funk. Couldn't get it back with his curveball. So they sent him down. He obviously worked it out very quickly, and he deserves to be back here, and he is.
He's gone. He'll grab some bench. First strikeout for Glover. 8th by Sox pitching.
Let's take a look at this last pitch from Gary Glover. As he makes quick work of Edgar Renteria with the high leg kick. It's a backup cutter. There's a spin on it. Didn't go where it was supposed to. Renteria looked like he misread that one. And underneath it.
This guy right here hadn't misread many in this series. Placido Polanco. He is now 7 for 11 in these 3 games. Chopper 2 hopper. Clayton.
And here's a reminder. The White Sox take on the Orioles on Sunday, July 1st at 1:05. First 10,000 fans at the game will receive Maglio or Ordonez bobblehead dolls from Pepsi. For tickets, call 312-8311-SOX.
You still do it better than the bobblehead dolls. We got to have a DJ bobblehead doll there.
No, we do not.
Here's Langford, been to the plate one time, called out on a good David Wells curveball. Yes, we do. You get the best bobblehead I've seen all year. Including Jambi, Big Frank, now Mags.
He's got a loose neck, that's all.
Outfield around to the left, gap in right center.
Came on to hit back in the 5th, and he struck out looking.
Good fastball right on by him. Glover coming over from the Blue Jays in exchange for Southpaw Scott Air. It was November 7th of last year. I mentioned when spring training and the season started, he did indeed dominate hitters. A cut fastball, a good sharp breaking pitch.
He throws the ball. We got on the clock here at the stadium, 93 miles an hour, and he's cutting it, so it's bearing down on some hitters' hands, especially if you're left-handed. If you're right-handed, away from your sweet spot.
Full count.
And that's something he was doing early in the year also. His first stint with the Sox is going after hitters.
Yeah, he's not afraid of the bat. He just, as you mentioned, lost his release point with a curveball. There it was. Fired over into the Cardinal dugout. Of course, the Sox have an excellent pitching coach down in Charlotte, and Kirk Champion. Well, that's a great luxury to have. Good coaches all the way up and down the system. Just underneath was Langford.
You see the NL strikeout leaders. Sexton, Langford, Burrell. a whole bunch of strikeouts through the halfway point of the season.
2 out in the payoff. Curveball high. So the 2 out walk to Langford. And they'll bring up Kerry Robinson. Langford just 1 for 3 in stolen bases is now Jerry Manuel coming out. So our Primeco call of the pen goes out for Kelly Wunsch as Gary Glover departs, and we'll be back. I like it when you take us on a little tour of history.
Now, I know one thing or two. There's Kelly Wunsch's numbers. And he's got 32 games in. He's got a 2-1 record. IERA at 6.95. 22 innings. He's given up 20 hits, 3 long balls, 8 walks, and 16 strikeouts. And he has a left-handed hitting Kerry Robinson up there with a man on first and 2 outs.
First pitch ball. Robinson 0 for 1. Reached on an error. 5-8-2 for the Cardinals. 3-7-2 for the Sox. No other activity down in that Sox pen as Albert Pujols on deck. Kelly, get this man Pujols. 2 for 3 this afternoon. Hard single, hard double.
Kelly appeared in the first game of this series and gave up the grand slam to Bobby Bonilla.
One and 2 the count. 3-2 fastball.
Hitters don't get too many of those. Bonilla got one. The luxury of taking advantage of it. Well, it's funny because when our guys do seem to of late get the 3-2 fastball, Paul Konerko, matter of fact, got one yesterday and took advantage and hit it out of here. It seems hitters nowadays love the luxury of the 3-2 fastball in comparison to all the off-speed stuff they usually are getting.
Well, you can get anything in the guy's arsenal with 3-2. They don't care if they're packed or not.
Well, and you still, of course, 3-2, you have to cover the fastball first and adjust to the other stuff. That's why the off-speed pitch has become the favorite now on a 3-2 count.
You know, there was a saying in baseball that you should go to the plate every time like the bases are loaded. That's inside. And try to hit, especially when you're going bad, try to hit in that kind of mental posture, which I totally disagree with.
It's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
I've never thought like that.
No. Ball hit high and deep. Way back. You can put it on the board. 2-run homer by Kerry Robinson. It's a 7-3 game.
Robinson's first home run of the season. Was just stepping in the bucket and looking in, and he hit it with everything he has. Pujols, he's swinging at the first pitch from Kelly Wunsch in the hole, 0-1.
So his first major league homer. That ball hit hard into left center field, but Singleton is there. Damage is done. We'll go to the 8th. 7-3 St. Louis. Gary Robinson's first major league homer has given St. Louis a 4-run cushion. 2-2 fastball right here from Kelly Wunsch. Feisty.
You watch. He's going to fly open, looking in there, and he just golfs it out of there. And he hit that with all he has, did Robinson, and that was his first at bat of the season versus a left-hander.
And that home run also hit by Robinson picks up another $40,000 to support prostate cancer research. And if you would like to make a pledge, please call 800-547-CURE. Help keep Dad in the game. There's Fernando Vina moves into second base for Polanco, who moves over to third for Pujols.
Dave Barris has come on for the 28th time. ERA at 2.36, 9 saves, 9 opportunities. Zappone's only hitting .188 against him. He's only given up 18 hits in 26 2/3. 3 of them were long balls, 12 walks, and 31 strikeouts. Also like to mention, Gary Robinson. I wasn't sure if he was ever going to get here to the big leagues, so had himself a little backup plan as he worked in the PR department as an intern from 96 to 97. Good thing he stuck it out, it appears.
Carlos Lee will lead it off. 1 for 3, a single, and he has scored a run. Come on, he's still got 6 outs yet. There is with that outstanding splitter. Carlos looks at ball 1. Won the count.
The Sox came into this series, lost the first one 10-3. Yesterday 8-3. And down again today 7-3.
There is 34-year-old right-hander, 6'2", 220 pounds. Born in Montgomery, Alabama. Counting is at 2 to Carlos Lee. Mags on deck. Canerco in the hole. Polanco.
Here's a reminder. The White Sox host the Pirates on Friday, July 6th at 7:05. The first 15,000 fans, 21 and older, will receive White Sox 1917 baseball caps from Miller Lite. For tickets, call 312-8311-SOX.
Here's Mags. He's 2 for 3, a 2-run homer in the 6th, a single in the 4th. He now has 17 homers, 49 driven in. Makes a breaking ball strike. Shortstop. Edgar Renteria gets him. 2 down. There's Sean Lowe. So here comes Paulie. I noticed a lot of the players, managers, coaches wearing that blue wristband. That is for calf cure. Help fight prostate cancer. Outfield bunts, they're straight up. Paulie takes ball 1. Paulie has singles, walked, scored. He's 1 for 2. Activity down in that Cardinal pen. Southpaw Mike Matthews. There's a strike. Polly, get on for Sandy.
Nice pitch there for Beres. 2-0 count. The Sox are down. You know they're swinging. Especially hitters count like that. 2-0. Perfect pitch from Beres. Lay off.
Close. He wanted it, didn't get it, and the count 3-1.
Almost the same pitch. It's a little further out that time. Beres teasing himself, hoping to get this one.
And there's ball 4. So the 2-out walk. And here comes Sandy. Sandy 0 for 3 this afternoon. He's hit the ball well twice. Just joining us, Sox trying to keep from being swept here in St. Louis, trailing 7-3 here in the top of the 8th with 2 down. Good eye. Joe Creedy on deck.
Well, the Sox have been playing great baseball, and the Cardinals terrible baseball. So the matchups in this series, obviously changed things around. The Cardinals just have no problem. That's what they've seen from the Sox and vice versa.
Well, the Cardinals hitters have taken advantage of the base on balls by Sox pitchers, and also the big factor that's come into play is hit by pitch, the way it changed things around.
4 hit batsmen in this series. Been a good thing. One time they didn't score.
Count hangs at 1-2 to Alomar.
And you also have the big difference what the Cardinals do to get on base. Their on base percentage before today's game was .342 as a team, as compared to the Sox, the worst in the AL at .309.
Polanco over to second base to Fernando Vina. Force Canerco. And that'll do it. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 7-3 St. Louis. We got some problems, trailing 7-3 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Kelly Wunsch, the 3rd Sox pitcher of the afternoon. Well, it's been a beautiful 3 days here in every respect except the score.
Yeah, surprisingly, the weather was much better than expected. But the humidity was down quite a bit. It's still very sunny and warm. Not as miserable as expected.
Fernando Vina will lead it off. He'll be followed by Paquette and Marrero. That pitch high and away. Outfield short, swung around to the left. Bit of a gap in right center. Creed Eden with a bag off the line at 3rd.
Vina hit by a pitch in both games so far in this series. His first at bat today. Scored both times. Each time it was with 2 strikes on him.
And we'll check some scores for you as the count goes to 3-0. Pittsburgh shuts out Cleveland 1-0. Richie the winner. Parsay 36,694 at PNC. And ball 4.
And here's a reminder. White Red Sox face the Pirates on Sunday, July 8th at 1:05. First 10,000 fans at the game will receive White Sox Rally Socks, courtesy of American National Bank. For tickets, call 312-8311-SOX.
So Jerry Manuel out to take out Kelly Wunsch. He departs, and we'll be back.
On for the second straight day. It's his 19th game. He's got a 2-0 record with a 2.43 ERA. He's got a save also. He's only hitting .234 against him, 29 and 2/3 innings. He's given up 25 hits, a couple of long balls, 9 walks, and 18 strikeouts. Here's a man on first, and Fernando Vina, and Craig Paquette on his way to the plate, who is 2 for 3 today with singles, a couple RBIs.
And we'll check some other scores for you. We already got some help, as we mentioned, from Pittsburgh, as they have swept the Indians. You mentioned they beat them 1-0. Cubs leading Minnesota 4-2 after 6 at Wrigley. That's Radke against Wood. Milwaukee leading Kansas City 5-2. That's after 7.5 at Miller Park. Boston beats Atlanta 4-3 down in Georgia. Castillo over Perez. 1-1 tie. Toronto at Montreal. That's in the bottom of the 9th. Baltimore beat Philadelphia at Veterans Stadium 10-7. So the Phillies, we mentioned, they're having some internal problems over there. His first pitch, Paquette misses low and away. There's Bowen, Scott Rowland really going at one another.
Scott Rowland, I've seen him play, one kind of a ball player. Right now, obviously not pleasing manager Larry Bowa.
Texas leading Houston 5-2. That's after 6.5 at Enron. Greg Biggio, a couple of home runs in that ball game, has extended his hitting streak to 17 games. Colorado beats Cincinnati 4-3 at Synergy Field. Todd Helton hit his 24th. That was a 3-run homer. Larry Walker hit his 21st.
Who'd have thought it? As the Cubs beating up on Minnesota, the Pirates on Cleveland, the Cardinals, the Sox, 3 teams in the Central here that have been playing solid baseball, all of a sudden get beat up.
Yeah, everybody getting swept.
An opportunity for one of those 3 teams to really gain some ground. Instead, status quo.
Ground ball right side. Ray. Only play over to Konerko. 1 gone. Casey looking at the Sox 9th. Schedule hitters. Lower third of the order. Petey, Clayton, and a pinch hitter for Sean Lowe. So here's the Cardinal catcher, Eli Marrero. Popped to second, popped to third, and he's hit into a 5-2 fielder's choice. Gets away from Sandy. Ovenia into third.
There's things like that that unfortunately have happened to the Sox in this series. Just a simple little problem receiving this throw from Sean Lowe. So runner advance, and now at third with 1 out. Hits batsman. Taking advantage of maybe taking an extra base on an outfielder. Things like that have happened in this series that quality ball for the Sox.
No, a lot of little things. There's a shot. That's fair. Hops over the fence, ground rule double. Vania scores, and it's an 8-3 ball game. The leadoff walk comes around and scores.
That ball from Sean Lowe in that corner. So what Sean featured to him. The sinker that didn't get there. Looked like Marrero was sitting on it down and in. That was a pitch before that moved Vina.
Jimmy Edmonds takes that curveball outside. Edmonds been to the plate one time, pinch hitting in the 6th, and he popped up to center. Out of play left side. 1-1 the count to Jim Edmonds. Edmonds been around a long time. He's just 30 years old. Put some numbers on the board. Last year, 42 homers, drove in 108. Hit 295 for the Cardinals. High in the center. Carlos Lee making the call now in left center. And that pitch was just missed by Edmonds.
Edmonds has a very unique approach to hitting. Spreads out real wide, no stride whatsoever, and it's amazing the power he still produces. I'm just going to do a little rock and roll in his stance. A little tip up of the foot, and right back down the same spot. Leans back and drives, and hits the ball out of the park all directions and deep.
He's got a live bat, plus he has great extension through the ball. So here's Renteria. He's 1 for 4. Takes that curveball strike. There goes singles. Popped to first and struck out twice. Another curve and 0-2 the count. Yeah, we have not done a lot of the little things that you have to do to maintain a winning streak.
Especially against a team the caliber of the Cardinals.
Fastball just off the corner. Well, as I said, Friday night's opener, to me, when they're healthy, when you got McGuire out there and Edmonds in center, this is the best team we've seen all year. Just got a piece of that curveball.
Well, you have La Russa, who's a fine manager that cares about all the little things, as his players appears right now doing them right. Station to station baseball when needed, and hitting the big hit when they need it, and the long ball. And the pitchers in this series have done a great job.
Deciding today by the 21-year-old rookie left-hander, Bud Smith certainly has not done anything to. He just fouled that one off.
I think he had his mind made up to go ahead and swing before that one left Sean Lowe's hand as he ran it way up and in. Looked like an emergency hack right there.
That's out of play right side. Mag's giving chase. He'll run out of room. Bud Smith certainly first major league start this afternoon. He goes 5 2/3, 3 runs through the 2-run homer to Mags. He was impressive. It's going to bolster St. Louis's hopes. Last year they won 95 ball games. Same record as the Sox, 95 67. They won their division by 10. Into center, can of corn for Singleton. And that'll do it. We'll go to the 9th. We got 3 outs to try to come up with 5. And here it is, coming back in the 6th inning. Went out, Carlos Lee aboard. DJ.
Maglio got himself a little off-speed pitch from Bud Smith, and that was really the only pitch that was hammered today from Smith. And Maglio took advantage of it.
So Mags now with 17 homers, 49 driven in. Dave Burrs taking his warm-up tosses, has concluded them, and here comes Joe Creedy. He had a base hit off the Cardinal right-hander yesterday.
He had a triple today, and it did come off of Bud Smith. High, towering fly ball to the left center that Kenny Robinson had some. Robinson had some problem fielding out there, thank goodness.
So we will conclude the series this afternoon. Go home to face Kansas City tomorrow night. Mark Burley There's a strike against Chad Durbin. And it's Monday half-price night at Comiskey Park, so make your plans to be with us. While we're playing Kansas City in that 3-game set, the Cubs are going to be coming in here to St. Louis to take them on. There's a curveball high and to right. Terry Robinson, who hit his first major league homer in the 7th, a 2-run shot off Kelly Wunsch, makes the catch. One out, and here comes Royce Clayton. Aaron Rowan has come out on deck. Royce is 1 for 3, a double, hard double, one hop the right field fence. Then in the 6th inning, McCready at third, 2 out, hit a line drive back through the middle that Placido Polanco made a heck of a catch on. That's it well into center field. Edmonds. He reads out there in center just about as well as anybody you'll ever see.
Well, he reads it well. He takes good routes to the ball. That's the key. You don't have to be the fastest of center fielders if you get good jumps and direct lines to the ball and cover as much ground as a guy that's a little slower, cutting and slashing out there at his angles.
So here's the 23-year-old with one major league at bat, that coming yesterday. Aaron Rowan, there are his numbers down in Charlotte. I'll get your first big league hit. There it was.
Aaron, 2 straight days in the opportunity to face their closer in Veras. Not too easy.
Better get used to it. Guerrero to the outside, pitch just off the corner. Good eye, 2-1. We mentioned they're very aggressive hitters. You look at Bud Smith. He's a pitcher of record, as is David Wells. Two and two. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the top of the 9th, trailing 8-3. And there's ball 4. So a good at bat, good eye for Aaron Rowan. And that'll bring up Ray Durham. Ray a single, walk, grounded to second, and struck out.
All right, good at bat for Aaron as he'd fallen behind in the count against the closer. Usually you feel, all right, he's probably going to expand the strike zone, and he didn't. Didn't chase any of those pitches that were off that outside corner.
And once again, a very happy Father's Day to each and all out there. Make it loving and a safe one. Breaking ball high. Happy Father's Day, DJ.
And to you there, partner.
Thank you. Blanco, and on the grass at third. As there's a strike on the outside edge. Cardinals really bunch in their outfield. And a splitter. We're down to our last bullet.
See that last pitch from Veras? A knuckleball. He's supposed down and away.
And this ball game is over, so the Cardinals come out in this 3-game set after them being swept in Kansas City. The Sox had swept Cincinnati, both teams going in different directions. We come in here and they turn it around. They win the game 10-3. They win this one 8-3. As they did yesterday. So DJ, not a lot of little things as we were talking about during the course of the series. A lot of little things hurt the Sox.
It's unfortunate that they seem to not get themselves prepared to avoid those little things that they were taken advantage of by the Cardinals. And the Cardinals pitching kept the Sox hitters who had been hot in check. So bad combination.
And the final totals on the finale of this 3-game set for the Cardinals: 8 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. They left 5. For the Sox, 3 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors. They left 7. Smith, the winner in his first major league start. He is 0-1. We'll check the 1-0. Wells takes the loss. He is 5-6. And a reminder, with 2 home runs hit in this ball game this afternoon, $80,000 has been raised for prostate cancer research. So thanks for helping keep Dad in the game. Right now, let's go back to our studios in Chicago with Megan and Bill.